Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited about everything that is going on today. I am truly, truly blessed to be a part of the middle ground today. Woo-wee! What a week, y'all. 45 that lost his mind, forcing people to take a part in his Social Security scheme. Oh my God, admitting to knowing that the COVID was coming and people were dying. Hurricane Laura. Oh my goodness, y'all. We didn't have a time. But guess what? We're here to debate about unity. Unity. So, what about unity? Can unity bring back a community that has been devastated by a 45 or by a hurricane or by anything? And does unity have a color, a skin color, or a skin tone? I'm not sure, but we are going to debate about it today. Welcome to my guest, my co-host, as always, Miss Anna Quizno. Can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Hello. I'm so happy to be here. As you guys know, I delayed my trip for a few hours to be here with Christy because it's so important. I want to make sure that my whole undivided attention was given because you're so special in all that you do, and and I'm grateful for everything that you are and that you do for me, sweetheart. Can I make a quick announcement if you don't mind, Christy?
Yes.
Okay, you guys, these shirts, my lunchtime with Anna shirt. I'm sure you guys have seen. We just got a mask and everything. They're done by Elevated Shift, aka Samori McPherson. You can text them and tell them that Anna or Christy Shira Strong sent you. The phone number is 321-591-8475. He will take care of you. He has always taken care of me. I got that surprise mask the other day. I was so excited. It looks so great. I keep getting compliments on it. And Shira Strong is as well going to be ordering some stuff from him that should already be on the way. I'm not sure. But Elevated Shifts, Tamori McPherson, that's the guy to go to for shirts and everything. That's who I go to and have been going to since my show started. So thank you, Samori, for all the great work that you do. You're awesome.
About 5 seconds.
Christy, was there any other announcements that you wanted me to make, or are you? That's about it, right?
Yes. So right now, I do want to send a moment of silence to all those who lost their lives to 9/11. Yesterday was 9/11, and I remember when I saw the first towers fall, and I remember, oh my God, seeing the planes. It was like such another reality at that time. And so we definitely want to give one moment of silence to those that lost their lives, lost loved ones, and all the things that are going on right now. So let's take this moment of silence and let everyone know that we appreciate our military, unlike 45, whether you are disabled or whatever you happen to you during a time of war. We truly appreciate you keeping us safe. So we just gave a moment of silence. All right, so now we did that, and let's now dive in. We have two guests. We have Mr. Leonard.
Good afternoon, Christy and Anna.
Hey, Leonard.
And we also have another guest that's going to be on with us just for a little while because he's very busy trying to teach defense. None other than Mr. Tyrundrick Hall.
Hello, ladies and gents.
Hey.
Awesome. awesome. So we're going to dive right into the subject of the matter. I know we do have another guest supposed to be on. Hopefully he'll come on, and that's Mr. Greg Giles. So right now we're going to get into it. And I also want to let you guys know, just for you guys and just for today only, no, I'm kidding. You can always call in and give us your opinion about how you feel about unity. And that number is 678-381-1973. Again, that number is 678-381-1973. Now, Mr. Greg is here. Let's say hey to Mr. Greg. Hey, Mr. Greg.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody going? Hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday, very productive Saturday, because everything is all about using your time wisely. So hello, everybody. Hi, Christy. Hi, Leonard. And also, hi, Anna.
Hey, I wanted to say something, Mr. Giles.
Hey.
It is so nice to see you. I got my two buddies, Leonard and Mr. Giles here. Two people I love dearly on a personal level. I highly respect for all that they attribute to the community. Thank you for coming on. I'm kind of taking over Christy's show, but that was exciting to see you. And nice to see you, buddy. It's nice to see you.
All right, always good to see you guys too.
It's always good to have this team together. So let's dive in. Mr. Greg, I'm going to you first, and then Ty Rundrick. So, Mr. Greg, we're talking about unity. And in the middle ground, we like to always debate and see what's the middle. So is there a skin color to unity?
Well, actually, if you look at how everything is actually going, the key factor is in unifying everyone is actually to get rid of the hate, get rid of the jealousy, and also we have to look at the way that we look at our brothers and sisters. When you're looking at a woman as if she's a bee, or saying when a female's looking at a guy as if saying he's a low down NIGGIA. So I mean, if you're not looking at them as kings and queens or brothers and sisters, saying you're already on the wrong path. We got to start equalizing everybody, putting everybody on level playing fields, and stop calling them out of their names and treating everybody fair and several. We can't have a negative disheart in our in our mindset about who we talk to and who we be around. But the thing about that is, like I said, that's going to be the key for me for unifying everybody. It's just to change how we look at them and how we speak to them and speak about them.
You're right. So, Ty Rundrick, I wanted you to talk about unity and how it helps you with your dojo. Talk a little bit about how the unity and learning that unity helped you through Laura, and how it helped you protect your family. How did that help you in building not only your home but your community?
Well, with the martial arts that I teach, it's all about unity. It was made by Bruce Lee. It's called Jeet Kune Do. And Jeet Kune Do is the way of the intercepting fist or foot. Basically, with unity, you're nothing without unity. If you take anything in this world and think about it, without unification, it won't work. You got to have a team. And without my team at this dojo and outside of the dojo, I would be nothing. So that's why I try to stress the most to all of my students that you have to unify each other, no matter the race, the color, the look. However, we all have to think on the same path, because if not, we'll easily be misled or stray away. So I feel like unity is a big factor, not only in America, but all over the country. Because if we learn to unify, nothing can separate us. And a lot of people allow hatred and a lot of other stuff to disconnect them from unity just by, it might be a parent or a grandparent or something of that nature. So I always honestly feel as if unity starts at home. If you're raised right, and if you're brought up right with guidance, you cannot stray away. But if you tend to try to raise yourself and be grown and on that kind of path, you won't even try to unify with anyone. You feel like you'll be a lonely soldier, and lonely soldiers only last for a certain amount of time.
Now, Ty, Somebody is asking a question. Now, I don't know what it means, so don't blame me. The question they ask, how close are you to hop key toe?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
He asked, how close is it to hop key toe? The Taekwondo.
How close is Jeet Kune Do?
No, he says a martial art style called hop key toe. So how close is what you teach? How close in line is that? Is it totally and completely different, or is it on the same line?
Oh, God. Well, let me explain this about what I teach. What I teach is Bruce Lee's art. So with that being said, it's non-classical kung fu. If we don't teach techniques, we teach the way of no way. We teach partiality, fluidity, and infinite. Infinite being the last stage. So the difference between us and everyone else, we are a scientific art based off of street fighting, along with philosophy. So we move like water, basically meaning in the sense of teaching your students and the way of adapting to any situation. And, you know, I'm not knocking on any other art or anything of that nature, but I just know with the art that I teach, it's an art that gets in your mind and also helps you to be able to defend yourself in any situation.
Awesome. So before you go ahead and give out your information. And we're still talking about unity. And once you give your information, Mr. Leonard, I want to ask you, is there unity in skin color? Go ahead and give your information, Ty.
Yeah, there could be some unity in that. However, that's real shaky because one, I like people to differentiate between solidarity and unity. Solidarity pretty much requires an objective. Why are we together? Why have we come together? That's solidarity. Unity to me is a much, much larger concept. It's actually being close to others in different ways. More intimate than solidarity. So you may have people of the same skin color, but from completely different backgrounds, coming in together in solidarity to fight other individuals. You see the difference?
Yes.
Whereas unity is more, I wouldn't say sacred, but it's more social. There's almost a guiding moral principle about unity. And it's more than just one thing. It means that we line up on several things. That's what some people unify under religious umbrellas because they share the same religion. Some people do music. Some people do all sorts of things. Unity doesn't even have to be positive. It's about what is shared between two people that makes them move as one. Do you understand the difference?
Yes. And I love you, Mr. Leonard, because you always break things down for us to understand. Ty, go ahead. I know you have to go because you have some students waiting. Go ahead and give us your address and phone number of your dojo. So if anyone wants to join or talk to you about it, they can get in contact with you.
Oh, yes, of course. My address is 710 Firewood Road, Jonesboro, Louisiana. And my Facebook name is Sifu Tyrundrick Hall. The number is 318-367-8534. Please give me a call if any ladies need any protection to learn how to self-defense or anything. That's what I'm here for. So unification is everything. We got to come together as one.
Thank you for coming on, Ty. So Anna, what do you think? Does unity have a skin tone or a skin color? We can't hear you, Anna.
I was on mute again. First, I wanted to say, Ty, thank you so much for taking the time to especially emphasize women. It's very important, especially with the sex trafficking, to please take some type of martial arts. I have in the past, and I think I'm going to go back. I got interested in what he was talking about, so I'm going to reach out to him later on to see if I can get some more information on that type of martial art. So to answer your question, Christy, ooh, I kind of had one opinion until I heard what Leonard said. That was deep. Leonard, that was really deep. You really made me think that makes sense, because that kind of reminds me of, and I'm sure I'm kind of jumping the gun and you're going to go on to this because of what happened at the game yesterday, how everybody stood together in solidarity, and then they were being booed. So that's kind of that's deep. So I don't know, because see, you have times where a hurricane has happened in the case of Louisiana or other states like Florida that they usually happen in, and people have united. We can have the biggest example, which is 9/11. 9/11 did not look at a party, did not look at a face, did not look at a color, did not look at anything.
Right.
All we know is that everybody was a hero who died that day, because they died under attacks for our country. So it is something to think about. Greg, his answer was like really deep too. So I kind of didn't expect those. I was going to go a totally different way, but I kind of like the direction this conversation has gone. So I'm going to stick on to this. So I'm just going to say I agree with the fellas on this one. And I appreciate that input, because it does make sense, especially the way that Leonard broke that down. Goodness, that was on point, you know?
Okay, great. So we do have another caller. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from? Caller, what's your name and where you calling from? Okay, so you're right, Anna, talking about unity. So I want to say this. It is my opinion that some people believe that unity does have a color, because if they didn't, why do we have so many organizations that are for only a specific group? Like for the Western Americans, they have the Ku Klux Klan, who come together on a common goal to hate others. And then there's the daughters and sons of the Confederate. Okay, so now we have that. What about other organizations like the Panther Party or the original Panther Party or other organizations that gears only towards black and brown people? We do have another caller. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
This is co-pastor.
Hey, co-pastor, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself? I'm just listening in today.
Okay, great. I'm so glad you joined us, because we are talking about unity and how unity can change or break a community. So I was just saying about how we have, I just asked the question, does unity have a skin color? Because you have different organizations for different people. Even the police officers have a union or a unity to protect each other, even when they're wrong. So I'm trying to get down to it. So is it okay to have unity amongst a specific group and not others? And is that true unity?
Unity is supposed to be for everybody. It doesn't matter what race. But in America, look like we've been seeing a lot of division here lately, and it shouldn't be, because it should be equal for everybody.
Right. And as you know, I'm dedicating the show to Winfield, Louisiana, due to Hurricane Laura. We have been blessed. So how did you knowing about community and being taught unity and the love of the community help you through Laura?
Well, I tell you one thing. everybody came together and everybody helped each other. If one needed water or needed food or needed gas or generators, everybody really pitched in because that was horrible. But I just thank God we all pulled together and we unified and it worked. And it's an experience that I wouldn't want to see nobody else go through.
Right. And you know what? I want to touch on this in just a moment, but I want to ask a question. Does it have to be a natural disaster or something that happened to make us have unity amongst everybody, brown, black, white? For instance, 9/11 brought so many things, so many people together. Hurricane Laura then brought all of us together. Mr. Greg, what do you think about that? Do you think that unity only comes between brown and Western American only when there's a disaster going on? Can we be unified without a disaster?
Well, we definitely can, but what it does during natural disasters, it actually intensifies the need for people to have, I guess, a common link or bondage with somebody else. Just because like there are a lot of people that are in Atlanta that from other states. So if something were to happen to them and they had no family around, the closest person around them would be their neighbors, their co-workers and people like that who they already know and they feel like they could possibly trust. So, I mean, we don't have to wait for a national disaster for people to find unity. We just have to change our mindset, and realize that everybody of the other color isn't bad or isn't out trying to hurt us. And so once we actually look at it from that perspective, everybody can truly actually live in harmony and in peace. But until then, we definitely still, it's a hard situation because, like you said, when 9/11 hit, there were people of all races jumping in to save anybody that they could without even looking at the skin color. So, I mean, that's the one thing that could bring us together, something such as that. But we actually have to look at the fact that we have to think about who we are and the people we have around us and how we could actually, on a daily basis, bring us closer to them and them closer to our world to let them know that, hey, I am a kind person. Hey, I do want to do good in the neighborhood. I want to, be a part of this and that. So, I mean, we have to pretty much practice it on a daily basis. It can't just happen when something all of a sudden happens and we're distraught and all of our loved ones aren't close by where we can reach out to them. So, I mean, that's how I feel. It doesn't have to be a national disaster. It could be anything can happen at any time. Your child could walk down the street and get hit by a bus, or get drive down the street and get harassed by the police. And anything can happen to us at any time. So we shouldn't wait for those things to happen for us to actually feel the love and support that we need from each other as loving neighbors.
Wow, that is awesome. And you're right. Mr. Leonard, does it have to be a natural disaster or something major to happen to us for us to unify on both sides of, for Democratic, Republican, Western American, brown and dark skin, light skin and dark skin? Does it have to have like this big major disaster for us to get along and be what we were supposed to be in love and peace?
Yes, I believe because unity is need based. That's the whole reason why you unify. Without a tempest or without something challenging, there's no need to unify. So you come together for a specific reason and a purpose. And it needs to be one that is very much a part of each and every person involved in that unit. Unity is a group of people where the unit of that is one. So every person in this unified front has an issue or concern. that is just important to someone else. What you're talking about with the storm and things is humanity. Everyone who's a human being feels a certain way about what happened to other human beings. So that's why it seems it's easier to unify against those types of things, because think about it. Who can stop an earthquake? No one. Who can stop a flood? No one. So the only thing, because that is so much larger than you either have to unify to fight it, or you have to unify to recover from the damage. So people are, I think, very romantic about the word itself, but it's not a just wishy-washy feeling that we should be together because what? Because our skin is black. And what else? You know? What else? What else? Everybody gets hungry. Boom, there you go. We all can come together, fight against world hunger. But that's the issue. Everybody wants to eat. Everybody needs food. So we unify. We have countries that unify together to fight against certain things because they affect everyone. That's why New Order is a human rights organization, because there are some rights that every person has because they're a human being. And that's such a huge thing, because just like you guys despise sex trafficking here, there's sex trafficking that goes on all over the world, not just here. It's not just an American problem. So that's why it's easy to develop a worldwide sex trafficking organization, a group of people who have unified around fighting this issue. So yes, unity must have a catalyst, or it's really not going to be much there or much interest there. You understand?
Yes, I do. It was great. Mr. Leonard, I really like, again, it makes sense. You know, we have rights and things that all human beings should have. But I think the problem is that some people don't even understand or realize that we are the black and brown people are humans. For so long, we've been property, or we've been different things. And so, yes, there are certain rights that are just for humans, the human needs. Love and kindness never hurt anyone or made them feel a different type of way. So when those things are done, you have to look at why. And when you understand the reason why, it's because the color of your skin, something that you have no control over, something that you can't, you didn't control what color you was when you was in your mother's room, when you was created. It was nothing that you asked for or didn't ask for. So to be judged on something that you have no control over is kind of harsh. And if you look around at America now and the discord that we have, I wonder, are we going to be able to unify even under a different leadership? Let's say Biden and Harris win the 2021 election. Do you think that they can rile us back together after all the racial remarks, after all the people that have this hatred in their hearts and come forth? And I can't say I'm mad about them coming forth, because I never like anyone to hide how they feel about me. So there's some difference in there. So how do you feel about that? Do you think that Biden and Kamala can, if they win, can they really bring America back into this unity and really bring us back to loving each other back like it was? I'm not saying it was great, but 4 years before, it wasn't this outright race hatred and war. Mr. Greg, what do you say to that?
Well, the thing about it is, like you said, when you look at who we have in office right now, some people love him, some people hate him, some people think he's a genius, other people think he's an idiot. But the thing is that when you got people that that can't see your pain or they can't feel your pain, are never going to look at you as an equal. When people have never gone through what you had to go through with, they've never had to struggle, they've never had to go without eating for days and days at a time, they won't know what it's like, because they think that, it's always going to be there until it's taken away. That's when they'll have the, they think, oh, the light bulb will pop up. Oh, so this is what they were going through. But, oh, now I feel the pain. Oh, they are, Black lives do matter, or, white lives do matter, or whoever, Indian people's lives matter. But the first thing you should always think about, you should never judge people for who they are, how they look. You got to judge them for what, how they are in their heart, and everybody that, but then again, I tell people too, when you're out there, and the friends that you have around you, make sure that they're true friends, because everybody that you have around you is not necessarily cheering in your corner. Some of them, they might be cheering for your demise. So you just have to be careful and be wary of who you have around you. And like that old saying, like I said, keep the grass cut low so you can see snakes and stuff like that. And I look at the snakes are the people that don't believe that people are created equally. A lot of people that are into hate. Some of them people go on to be police officers that still hate, and that take that hate out on innocent people and get away with it. So I mean, until America can see that hating is wrong and abuse is wrong, will forever be in this particular situation. And I think that's one thing. I'm glad you actually brought the topic up for today: unity. Until we unify and become one, we'll always be separated. It'll always be hard to get justice because there aren't enough of us actually going in for the cause. A lot of people out here watching, but how many of us are out here doing something, saying something, making a difference? I seen a person not too long ago on Facebook posted, "Am I wrong for not saying something?" I seen my neighbor, her husband was dragging her around in the yard by her hair. I'm like, yes, you're wrong for not saying something, because that lady could, that could have been your chance to save that lady if something bad had happened to that lady and you didn't. So everybody has to, we can't be scared. We got to stand up for what's right. If you see something, say something. I've always been that type of person. Not too long ago, maybe about 12 years ago, when a guy was beating his wife outside on the porch in an apartment. And I was going to visit my mom. When I pulled up, he was out there just beating her, and nobody was saying anything. You could see people looking out of the window, standing in the doors, but nobody was saying anything. So, I'm getting out of my car. I shut my car off, and I immediately jump out. Hey, man, stop hitting on that woman like that. And he immediately, jumped at me like, who are you talking to? Like, I'm talking to you. I didn't back down. I didn't stutter. So, I mean, until men start acting like men and defending these women and stop, talking about them and calling them, BITCHs and HOESs, and start calling them QEENS queens, and start treating them like that, that's when we can have a change, and that's when we can have true unity in our environment, because these kids that are growing up these days.
Yes. QUEENS. You hit the nail on the head. We have to change the way we treat our queens. Now, you not like that because, I think I'm a queen. But, we're going to go with Miss Anna. And Miss Anna, I got a question for you. And I want you to respond to Mr. Giles as well. But because I know a little bit about you, let's talk about unity in the church and unity with Christians. Is there unity in the church right now? Do we have unity as Christians? And if not, what do we need to do it? Because, I'm just wondering about that.
I said, so you see the face, right?
Yes.
Ain't none of that going on, and we know it. There was a little bit of unity I saw as soon as COVID came around within all of us, within the whole entire, well, not even, because if you guys think about it, I saw somebody fight for bread at Kroger down the street. You know what I'm saying? So, which is a supermarket for whoever's not familiar with Kroger. It's like a Publix or Winn-Dixie or Food Line or whatever. Yeah, so I'm just like, okay. But the church, how many Christians do we know? This is a Christian station, so we can say this. How many Christians do we really know that are gossiping, stirring up mess, lying on one another, stealing, lying at the altar or at the pulpit? And I'm sorry, I translate that always from Spanish to English, so I'm not sure. I think pulpit is the correct terminology or the correct word. But how many people do you see doing this within the church? How many people do you see that whenever somebody's maybe not dressed appropriately, turn around and make that face or smirk and make that comment to whoever's next to them? How many times do you see that? I think it's been something where our Father had to kind of cleanse the buildings. And I hope that these pastors have been going in and praying over their building for when things do come in that is of that, or ask for forgiveness and taking this time to go into prayer and fasting, as well as church leaders to change their ways, because there's no reason why you cannot do this while you're sitting at home. You guys have so much more time to turn around and dedicate more time to our Father. So do I think that the church is messy? Yes. I hate it. I hate that part about the church, because it shouldn't be like that. It is messy. Even big churches, small churches, you see it all the time. However, keep your focus on the Lord. Forget the mess. Clear your eyes. You see somebody who walks into the church who needs help. Anybody who knows me knows I am that person who will walk to you and give you the greatest, biggest hug. Because I don't care if you were that prostitute. I don't care if you were that bum. I don't care if you were that drug dealer. I don't care if you were that murderer. I am still going to love you. I am still going to show you what Christ's love is. But I'm also going to correct you when you need to be corrected, because that's what our Father calls us to do, not to be fake and make it one-sided or get our own interpretation of what our Father is. I can go on for an hour about this, Christy, and I know you're limited on time, so I hope that helps answer your question.
Preach, Sister Anna.
I can't hear you, Mama.
I was laughing. I said, you must be in our church. I'm so excited. And we're talking about unity. So all of this is under unity. We done talked about unity. Can Kamala and Joe Biden bring community back in America? Does unity have color? Whether it's black or Western American or brown. We're also talking about, I want to talk about the unity in relationships between a man and a woman. Unity hits so many realms that we can go in. Again, please call into the middle ground at 678-381-1973. I would love to thank all the Winfield City officials that helped out during Laura. I want to thank Red Cross, the FEMA. I want to thank all the people that brought in supplies to the New Zion Baptist Church, to the Methodist Church, to all the different churches that have helped in the time of need. I also want to thank Marcus Hayes with Baby Hayes Barbecue for passing out ice, water, and free plates to all the elderly. I want to thank all of the ones from the richest to the lowest that gave. I do remember another couple, Michelle Kelly and Cornelius Kelly, who created and made hot dogs for everyone that didn't have lights. Those who finally got lights and allowed people from the community to stay with them because they didn't have lights. Y'all, I want to send a big shout out to everyone in Winfield, Louisiana for standing strong and showing that Winfield still has community. Yet we still have a lot of work to do to make it the best place ever, but it all begins with one step. And I do believe we made a step to understand and to help one another. So a big shout out. If any of those listening, please call in so we can show our gratitude to you guys. 678-381-1973. Now, Mr. Leonard, do you think Ben and Kamala can really bring us back together again?
Man, you know what? We have to dispel this myth that we was all together before. So, it is terrible what has happened to us, because what has happened to us is we've had our government broken down. And this usually doesn't happen this way. But when you are under attack, you start to see things that you haven't seen before on such a level. We've never had anyone so vile. Even if you think of the traditional presidents, who some of them were racist. However, there were certain lines that they did not cross. Treason was one of them. Their job as the CEOs of this country was to make sure that everybody understood how they made America great. This is what every leader in that position is tasked with doing. This particular president has completely went to destroy that, to segregate our society, to make people believe that they're fighting alone for their own lives, and really to encourage chaos, which is the opposite of unity. So those issues that we're facing today are simply because of this individual who is inciting violence and separation. We've already had all the actors here. They've just been acting at lower levels. But now you have someone who have taken over the executive branch of this government, and their main publicity and PR is hate one another, fight one another. What is it? Survival of the fittest. And so we're right now, we seem as if we're out of place, because we've never had it marketed this way. And people are, even the lowest form of lives has come out and really started supporting racism once again. You have to remember there was a whole group of people before we were called the United States who did not care for that unity from a national perspective. And this is what causes civil wars, because yet we're flying under one banner, supposedly. We still have issues like racism that we cannot resolve. And it's because of those individuals who still believe in separation and degradation, disenfranchisement, and all those things that we call racism from a race point of view. But we know we have issues with sexism and everything else. And there are some people who support that, and they have a huge consumer base, a huge following, and that's how they were able to elect a president. Are you still there, Kristen?
I think she's having technical difficulties.
Oh, with her sound?
Yeah.
But those
Well,
are
I'm sorry,
the issues that we have. A lot of people are very poetic about this whole unity thing.
Hello?
Christy's back.
Now,
Can y'all hear me?
yes.
Okay, look, I was having my mouth. I am so sorry, guys. But guess what? I am still excited about what's going on. And I thank Mr. Leonard, Mr. Greg, and Anna, and co-pastor Teresa Lord of Community Outreach Ministries. I do appreciate everyone. Miss co-pastor, I wanted to ask you the same question I asked Anna, because I'm very interested in what you have to say about unity in the church. Have we lost that unity in the church? Because I know we're taught that where there's unity, there's strength. And if there's one or two that comes together and agree in God's name, it shall be done. So if we don't have unity in the church, what are we defeated?
I agree totally with what Anna said, because it's a mess in the church. And it shouldn't be, because that's a place that you should be able to come to get your strength, to get built up, to get encouragement. But sometimes it's the opposite. If a young lady come in with a short dress on, everybody looking at her, she may have come in to get delivered. She may be tired of the way that she's living, but the church is judging her in the church, and that's not what we're supposed to do. Yes, it's very messed up in the church, and it's time for a change. That's why we can't draw a lot of people into the church, because the church folks need to be straightened up before we can get anybody else straightened up. So I totally agree. Anna put it out there very good, because that's truth what she said. It's no unity in the church like it should be. Some sit on one side, they mad with somebody on the other side. Oh, they have pity parties. We got a lot of petty people in the church, and they want to get mad about the least little thing because they can't have their way. Then they'll leave that church and go to another church so that they can kind of control and take over. But that's not what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be able to correct them, lead them, and guide them without them getting mad and leaving the church. So yeah, it's a lot of work we have to do. And I pray one day that we all be able to come together on one accord so that we can help each other.
All right, CP, you about to start preaching in a minute. Because you know what? The church can be. The church can be a place that saves you, that pick you out the miry clay. And the church can hurt you. Oh, Lord. There's nothing like church hurt. But what about unity with the relationship? What about a unity between a woman and a man? And I think those scars are the worst scars that you can have, because it kind of changes you and it kind of molds you. You might not remember the first person that you loved or you had a crush on, but I guarantee you that first heartbreak, oh my God, you remember it. So as Black people, how does having a good relationship with a significant other in unity help our community build unity? Mr. Greg?
What was that question again, Christy?
I was asking about relationship between a man and a woman. How, it should be unity there. Is there unity there? And with that, does the unity between a man and a woman, does that constitute the unity of the community? Because there'd be so much, you remember your heartbreak, you hate this person, you don't like this, so you build your people up. So how does that work? Do you think that the unity between a man and a woman also helps with the unity in the community?
Yes, I think it does, simply because of the fact that, like you said, even with the little kids, they're looking up to their parents and how a relationship works. So if your parents are constantly always arguing or going on, it's fine that there's no unity. Your mama's always on your dad about coming home late, or your dad is always on your mom about her drinking too much. So, there's no unity there. And a lot of people, I don't know about anybody else, I love it when I see a couple that's been together for a long time, and there's unity there, there's bond there, there's commitment, and there's strength. I look at it as a strength. So, these are the people that our neighbors can actually, look up to, say, hey man, you know what, or when they watch you, say for instance, if a man is around another man, and this man is having a discussion with his wife, where this other man was used to yelling at his wife and hitting her or something like that. If he sees another man handle the situation differently, he might start rethinking how he actually treats his wife or his woman, and how he actually treats his kids. So I mean, having good, positive people around you, as far as saying, with that man and woman unity bond, is always a good thing. It's always a good thing because you never know who's watching you.
Okay, great. This has been a great show. We have about 5 minutes left. So I like to go around to everyone to give final thoughts, final things. Is there a middle ground with unity? Is there unity with color? Is there unity with America? Is there unity in your community? Can you get unity in your community? We're going to start with the lovely co-pastor for our final thoughts.
Okay, we learned a lot today. Everybody has some very interesting points. We need to have a middle ground so that we can come together and get it back together again. Because like I heard earlier, one of the gentlemen said, we in denial. This has been going on for a long time. This is not something that just started. So we need to see what we can do to come together so that we can have more unity, because we have children. I have grandkids that's coming up in this world, and it's just scary to think about what they're going to have to deal with because of the race and the color of their skin. So, I mean, it's a lot that needs to be done, and we need to see what we can do as our part to unify. And that's in the church, that's in your relationship, and all around. And I have really enjoyed the show today.
Thank you so much, co-pastor. It's always a joy just to hear your voice. And you always bring light to any situation in any room. Thank you so much. Mr. Leonard, final thoughts.
Final thought, man, if you want better people, you have to start bringing them from the very first, is bringing them into this world, into a situation that's positive. As long as you are raising children in positive relationships and you teach them these values of unity, they will seek to improve themselves. But if all they have to look at are broken homes, fighting, people who don't keep their promises, people who don't have values and things like that for themselves, you place a huge burden on society. And so we have to think about it. How unified do we want to be? We just started talking about relationships. Marriage is such an institution that you take vows to one another. You committed, you put it out there because this is what I value. If you increase the value, unity becomes even easier to achieve.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. As always, your knowledge, your strength, your love for women always exudes through on the radio. I really appreciate you taking time for the middle ground and to talk to us about unity. You are so loved, and I can't wait to talk to you on Monday on the Morning Glow that air every morning. Our time is at 6 a.m., but your time is 7 a.m. So we do thank you guys. Anna, your closing remark. What's on your closing remark?
I just wanted to say, I just love this panel that you had on today. Pastor, words of wisdom. I love it. Leonard, man, if you guys have to rewind this show a few times, listen to those words. He drops a few jewels in there. And take it in, because you know what? It's always good to see a different perspective and see somebody who looks at things a bit different than we do and is not only looking at color or anything. You guys do not forget that when I say brown, I am not only talking about my Latino brothers and sisters, I am also talking about Middle Eastern as well as Indian American, and as well as Indian from India and other people of color. So please remember that when I say brown, I am talking about everybody. So I include everybody because that is a big deal for me. Lastly, Greg, wow, so many things that you were like on point on this show. My friend, I have truly missed saying the what's up, how are you, how you been, how's your family? Great, great conversation. Christy, you brought a bomb panel on here today. Thank you for that. And most importantly, thank you for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it so much. You're the best.
Thank you so much, Anna, as well. I enjoy you being the co-host on The Middle Ground. Also, Anna has her own show on Wednesday called Lunchtime with Anna. Tune in on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock our time, 12 o'clock you guys' time, and really enjoy Lunchtime with Anna. There are amazing stories and amazing things that she brings to the table. It was truly a joy to hear a perspective on unity. Mr. Greg Giles, a hand clap to you, and Mr. Leonard. You guys always say the greatest thing. So what are your closing remarks?
My closing remarks would simply be treat people how you want to be treated. Simple and plain. There's nothing more to say. Just treat people how you want to be treated.
Awesome. And Mr. Greg Giles, I truly appreciate you taking the time to make a moment for the middle ground, for us to try to find a middle ground between unity. My closing remarks. I thank DKM Media Group for allowing us to air on their platform. And I wanted to leave just one thought. My grandmama always told me, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's the golden rule. And if we want to begin with unity, we need to begin right there. Because I'm not going to treat myself ugly. And one thing I want you to know, unity does not have a color. Although there are organizations that do come together with themselves and their own color and their own race, but it resides hate. And unity and hate cannot live in the same place, just like Jesus. So if you have unity only on one person and one kind, it's not going to last because it's not true unity. Like Mr. Leonard said, there has to be a solidarity there. And that's with Western Americans, for African American, whatever organization you have. If it's only unity with just a certain kind of person or a certain kind of thing, it's not going to last, because true unity is when you love everyone, no matter what color they are, no matter how they look, no matter what disability they have. It's all about bringing unity. And Miss Anna want to mention one more thing before we go out.
We see you currently with dealing with a case, and I wanted you guys to say a prayer for this family. We have an inmate that was stabbed yesterday. We tried calling in to make sure that the system would be able to get to him on time. Unfortunately, the inmate has passed. So just keep that family in your prayers, because believe it or not, behind closed doors, WeSeeU does do a lot, especially for inmates. It seems like what has fallen into our lap. So please just keep that family and those friends of that inmate in your prayers, because it's really sad and unfortunate that that's had to happen. It breaks my heart, and but we'll keep them in our prayers. And Christy, they can always contact the Human Justice Organization if they need any help, or they can always feel free to email you, and I'm sure that they can get in contact with the WeSeeU Human Justice Organization as well.
Exactly. And the very last announcement I have, I want everyone to come to Georgia on October 24th.
Yes.
There is a Black People United Global Network, and Dr. Angela Harris is presenting Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Purpose Behind the Pain. Yours truly is a speaker, as well as Lunchtime with Anna is also a speaker. And there's plenty of speakers, entertainment. You're going to learn a lot. I implore anyone to go. It's going to be October the 24th in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're interested, there's a link that we can provide you to be able to get your tickets. It's domestic violence. So please, please, please try to go there. We're going to end out. We love you guys. Remember, stay strong. Stay Winfield strong. Stay he strong, she strong, we strong, she was strong. We've enjoyed you guys on the middle ground. You guys have a great day. See y'all next Saturday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.